What's going on, NFL fans? Wow, free agency has been absolutely insane. It's been a lot of fun, unless you're Dallas Cowboys fans, because you haven't done shit. Oh, God, it feels so good when the Dallas Cowboys continue to do stupid shit. In today's episode, what I want to do for you is do a mock draft based on what's happened so far in the first 2 days of free agency. A lot of big names have already signed. There's been some big trades. So let's get into this year's mock draft. After free agency has happened, there's still going to be some moves made for sure in the next coming days, but the bulk of the big deals have already happened. So let's figure out where your NFL team is going to go in the NFL draft after free agents have been signed for a lot of teams, or some teams like the Cowboys who haven't done shit. All right, let's get into it. The first pick of the NFL draft in 2024 is still, in my opinion, going to be Caleb Williams. He's got the biggest arm and probably the highest upside ceiling of the top three quarterbacks in this NFL draft. The Bears also brought in running back DeAndre Swift, signed him to a 3-year deal, overpaid a little bit for him, but he's really going to help out the Bears offense. He was great for the Eagles last year. He can run in between the tackles, outside the tackles, catch the ball out of the backfield, a true 3-down back. I like DeAndre Swift, and I like Caleb Williams to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Now, on to the number 2 pick in the draft. The Washington Commanders added a little bit of offensive line help. They brought in veteran tight end Zach Ertz, and they got some defensive players. So I still think the pick for them at number 2 is going to be Jaden Daniels out of LSU. I love the fit with him and Cliff Kingsbury, the new offensive coordinator for the Commanders. I like Jaden Daniels to go number 2. On the clock is the New England Patriots. They brought in Jacoby Brissett on a 1-year deal, so I think a trade's going to happen here. And there's no better team than the Minnesota Vikings, who let Kirk Cousins walk to the Atlanta Falcons. So they're going to swap picks, the 3 and the 11 pick, and they're going to get Minnesota's first and second round pick next year. It's a lot of draft capital to give up, but the Vikings really need a quarterback, man. They got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, so they got to prove to these guys they're here to win now. So let's offer this trade up. The trade was accepted, so now the Vikings are on the clock at number 3, and they're going to take Drake May at number 3. Woo, baby. So they're either going to get Drake May or Jaden Daniels, but in my mock draft scenario, Drake May, the young quarterback from North Carolina, is going to be a Minnesota Viking, and he's going to get to throw to Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. Awesome. Number 4 is the Arizona Cardinals. They didn't really do much in free agency that makes me think that they're going to do anything different. They're going to take a wide receiver, and that wide receiver is Marvin Harrison Jr. Number 5, we have the Chargers. Austin Eckler walked. He's with the Commanders now. I know the Chargers are a little in trouble with the cap situation, so where do they go here? I'm still thinking they go offensive lineman. I like Joe Alt, the offensive lineman from Notre Dame. He's big, he's tough, he's strong. Oh boy, now the Giants are on the clock. Saquon Barkley is now a Philadelphia Eagle. Woo, baby. They brought in the D-end from Carolina, so they're not going to go defense here. I think they go offense, and I'm still going with Malik Neighbors to the New York Giants. And now, the Tennessee Titans. OMG. Derrick Henry is now a Baltimore Raven. Tony Pollard is now with the Titans. Where do the Titans go now? Do they go wide receiver? Do they go crazy and bring in a guy like Brock Bowers? I still think they bring in an offensive lineman, and I think that offensive lineman is Fashanu from Penn State. Atlanta Falcons, definitely not going quarterback now. That is for sure. I think that the Falcons are going to go best defensive player available. What do we do? Do we go Byron Murphy, cornerback like Terry and Arnold? Whoo, baby. I'm going to switch it up. I think they might go cornerback here, man. I think they might go Terry and Arnold. I mean, he's a really, really good corner. 88 PFF grade this year. He's a stud, man. but they could also go a guy like Byron Murphy, who's an absolute monster, 91. It's hard. They're not going to pass up on Murphy. They're just not going to do it. They could go corner. They're not going to do it. And then the Bears, they got their running back. They have DJ Moore still at wide receiver, so could they go tight end? I'm going to mix it up in this mock draft. I'm going Brock Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, to go with Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift with the Bears. I like that outlook because DJ Moore's already a deep threat, and Rome Odunze is kind of like similar-ish. So I like Brock Bowers, man. Bring in that number one tight end. This dude's an absolute monster. I love that pick at number 9. On the clock next at number 10 is the New York Jets, who have been awful in free agency. They let superstar, potentially Bryce Huff, walk to the Eagles, 25-year-old, super productive player. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're going to go offensive line. I like Fuaga from Oregon State. All his tape suggests that he's a NFL-ready lineman. He's going to start day one and help protect Aaron Rodgers for sure. And then we go to the New England Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to probably pick the best player available. So that's going to be probably Odunze or Cooper DeJean from Iowa. I'm going to go Cooper DeJean. I think he's going to be the way. The new Patriots head coach is defensive-minded. Get a great corner. There's not a lot of them in this draft for sure. And the Broncos have been awful. They let Russell Wilson walk. Jerry Jeudy's gone. They're going to go quarterback. And I've been watching a lot of quarterback tape. And to me, it's between J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix. J.J. McCarthy is a little inexperienced, but Bo Nix is unbelievably accurate with the football, and that's what Drew Brees was. So that's what I think Sean Payton's going to value. So Bo Nix is going to the Denver Broncos. On the clock is the Raiders. They brought in Gardner Minshew to compete for the quarterback position, but I think they're going to surprise everybody. Roll the dice on a quarterback. I think they go J.J. McCarthy. I really, really do. They're going to bring him in and see what he's got. They need a quarterback. They need to start fresh. A guy like Gardner Minshew can help coach him up a little bit. And then if he's not ready to go, J.J. McCarthy, Gardner Minshew can start some games for you. This is a transition year for the Raiders. They could go defense there, but I don't think that's going to happen. Up next at number 14 is the Saints. The Saints haven't done jack shit in free agency. This team's going to continue to meddle. I think they bring in a guy like Jared Verse, the edge defender from Florida State. I think he's going to be the pick there. And then we go to the Colts. At number 15, what do they do here? Anthony Richardson will be back healthy. They could go wide receiver, but they did bring back Michael Pittman on a big, big deal. It looks like they need some line help. So I'm going to roll the dice here on a pick. The best center in college football is Jackson Powers Johnson. And hear me out. Look at Jason Kelce and what he did for the Eagles. He could be a starter for your team for the next decade. I like that pick. Help out Anthony Richardson. Bring in a guy. It's early to pick a center, but the centers have a lot of value, especially in today's NFL. I like that pick. Then we move on to the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think he falls any further. Bring in a guy like Rome Odunze to the Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are there, but they're not going to want to pay them anymore after their contracts are up. Bring in a young wide receiver. Number 17, Jacksonville Jaguars. Where do the Jaguars go? I like Troy Fontenot. I think they need some offensive line help at guard, center. Fontenot can move inside. It looks like he was a right tackle, left tackle guy in college, but he could swing inside. He's very versatile. I like him at number 17 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the Bengals. The Bengals. They need offensive line help. They're going to go with the best offensive lineman left in the draft. That's J.C. Latham from Alabama. It's a no-brainer. You got to protect Joe Burrow. Bring him there. All right, then we go. L.A. Rams. Where do the Rams go? I think they go cornerback. I like Quinyon Mitchell to the Rams for sure. And then we go Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Newton, the D lineman, he's been pretty good. He has some physical limitations due to his size and a lack of natural flexibility, but he has got good hand usage, and he's got crazy block shedding ability. Tomlin likes his defense. I like that pick there. Then we go to the Miami Dolphins, who it seems to be losing their whole team. Oh, man. They got to address defense for sure. They lost some linebackers. Edge defender, Latu. I like him with the Dolphins. And then we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Nate Wiggins or Terrion Arnold. Where do we go here? Or do you go with a guy like Terrion Arnold? Didn't play in 2021, but very good in 2022 and 2023. Big time player. I think they're going to go Terrion Arnold. I really do. All right, then we go to the Houston Texans. Where do they go? Nate Wiggins. Do they go a guy like edge defender? That's where I think they go. D-line, bring in edge defender Dallas Turner to the Houston Texans. And then the lowly Cowboys are up at number 24. I think they go Mims here. Tyron Smith is walking in free agency. He hasn't signed yet, but I like Mims there for the Cowboys. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers on the clock. They made a huge signing at safety, Xavier McKinney. They also brought in Josh Jacobs and let their other running back, Aaron Jones, walk. But McKinney, I had them drafting a safety, the number one safety in the country. But now I think they could pivot and go with cornerback, bring in a guy like Nate Wiggins, and all of a sudden, a weakness now becomes a strength, man. Nate Wiggins at Clemson falling to you there. Great pick. Number 26, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They brought back Mike Evans. They brought back Baker Mayfield on a pretty solid deal. They need a center. I love Zach Frazier out of West Virginia. He's super consistent, really good grades in most of his games. You bring in one of the best centers in the country, probably the second best center in the country, a late round pick, help protect Baker Mayfield. I love that pick. And then the Cardinals are on the clock. Let's get some offensive line help. Graham Barton from Duke is a no-brainer. They got their wide receiver. You got to protect Kyler Murray. I love that pick there. The Bills kind of cleared out their whole team. I was going to go wide receiver there, but Tyler Nubin, the best safety in the country, fell off the draft board, went really, really lower than I thought he was initially going to go. And the Bills need some help in the secondary now after they let their whole defense go. Tyler Nubin is the guy. On the clock is the Detroit Lions. They brought in some guys to help at the cornerback position, but I love to address the defense a little bit more. Peyton Willis, the linebacker, I love that pick there. Bring in the linebacker, help out Aiden Hutchinson in that defense. This guy's really, really good. Okay, and then the Ravens are on the clock. They just brought in Derrick Henry. I want another big-time receiver. You got Zay Flowers, kind of that shifty, slot-ish guy that can work outside. Brian Thomas Jr. to the Ravens, falling in their lap. It's a no-brainer. They're going to run to the podium to make that pick. Then we have two teams left, Super Bowl teams, 49ers and the Chiefs. I love this pick. Tyler Guyton falling to them at 31. He's a good player. He's a little raw, but he's going to be a great addition to that offensive line room. And then the last pick in the draft. If this pick falls to the Chiefs, they're going to run to the podium, make this selection. Ladd McConkey, in my opinion, has the best hands in the draft. You got a guy like Rice on the outside. McConkey can kind of run those slot routes. You can even split him outside if you want to, but he can run all the routes in the tree. He can go deep. He can run across the middle of the field. He's really going to be great for Patrick Mahomes when the play breaks down, kind of running all over the field, be that Julian Edelman type guy. Ladd McConkey is going to be the pick for the Chiefs at number 32. All right, guys, let me know in the comments below. Do you like this new mock draft 2.0 from Jay All Day? Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You like my picks? Do you hate my picks? Leave me some comments below. Peace.